All right, Coach John, Risling Podium Performance, and we're back with the next 6, 12, 25 horizontal workout. So chest and back. So to start off, I'm going to be doing bench press 6 reps, then 12 reps on the dip, and heading over to the twin pulley station to do 25 high to low cable chest flies. If you like this type of content, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Also, the other day I dropped a video breaking down the block starts of some of Canada's top 100-meter sprinters. You can catch that right up here or down in the link in the description below. I break it down in terms of technical analysis as well as where a little things technically can be improved that could add up to hundredths or even tenths of a second down the track, which can lead to either a new personal record, Canadian record, or who knows, other records may fall. Anyways, let's hop into the warm-ups. All right, so on to our bench press here and just warming up. So one thing I did notice is I forgot my SD card reader at the gym over the weekend and thought I lost it. So I'm showing both the so Saturday's workout as well as today's workout in this video. So warm up on bench went well. First and second sets here shown side by side. Just so that you can see, okay, I'm trying to maintain the exact same bar path the entire time. I'm trying to make everything solid in that regard. It's a biochromial grip on the bench, so it's relatively close grip, and counting 4 seconds down as best I can in my head. Then the dips, these just went well overall. They just felt good. The first set, I was pretty consistent rep to rep. Second set, you can see I started to speed up here. I just felt like I was just going slow and fell all off the pace a little bit, but they felt good. Everything went good on the dips on Saturday. The high to low cable flies. The reason I'm going high to low is it kind of follows the actual pennation angle, or the angle that your muscle fibers kind of follow. They don't go in a straight line across your chest. They actually kind of flow down a little bit because they all originate from your shoulder joint. And as I'm getting to the bottom, if you notice, I'm somewhat turning my hands over. All right, so as I'm getting ready for my final set, a few kind of technical points that I'm trying to focus on here. One thing is I'm trying not to bounce it off my chest. I'm trying to come down the 4 seconds or 4 count. It's probably not 4 seconds. When I watch it back, it never is. You always end up counting faster than you realize. Is I come down, touch the chest and up. I'm not trying to do one of these bouncing off the chest. That can add 5-10% of strength out of the bottom. I'm trying to keep it so that it's all just the muscle and not a stretch reflex going on. I'm trying to stay in control of it, not bounce off the chest. I'm trying to make it so that every aspect is fully controlled. Is that going to be hard on the last set? Yes, because 1, I went up 5 pounds over last week, and 2, it was tough on the second set. The dips, they're feeling great. It feels like full depth when I watch it back. I'll comment on if I'm actually getting the full depth or not. But it's feeling like they're feeling good. And then the cable flies, that's just purely pump work. Big thing I'm focusing on there, trying to keep my shoulders, like my shoulder blades and everything back as best I can, and really focus on the contraction of the pec muscle. And as I'm coming down, I'm internally rotating, or I'm pronating my hand to get a little bit more of a contraction just into the pec muscle itself. So here we go. All right, so on to the third set here. So this set, I wasn't sure if I was actually going to get through more than 3 reps, just everything was pretty tired. As I just explained, I added 5 pounds. So I'm really focusing here on keeping everything squared up, not bouncing off the chest as best I can. You'll notice right about here, there's a small little bounce there, but I'm trying to minimize that as best I can. And then the last rep, tried to just keep things all nice and squared up. Right over into the dips. They didn't really feel bad at all at any point. Shoulders, elbows, everything felt good. Sometimes the shoulder starts to not feel like these so much. I'm trying to keep my torso as upright as possible as well when I'm doing these. And as I just explained as well in that little interlude video, I was really focusing as I'm doing these cable flies of internally rotating or pronating and turning my hands over as I'm coming into the fully contracted position to really squeeze the pec that last little bit. And yeah, I was definitely feeling that at about the 14th rep. These just became a battle of attrition. All right, so the back portion, the horizontal part, I'm doing 3 different pulls going front to back. The first one is the bent over row. This allows me to kind of do a relatively heavy weight while kind of doing the exact opposite of the bench press. And then I go into doing the chest supported dumbbell row with a little bit more volume, just because with that one,
with really heavy weight, it can get really hard to actually go. And the other part is because all the weight is on your chest, you get hard to get a good deep breath in. So doing the moderate weight there, where I'm at a little bit of an incline angle so that I can kind of pull and focus on pulling towards my hips a little bit more. One issue I have there is my arms are long, and if I go at a higher incline, I end up using my traps more. So I can't really get full extension unless I were to somehow extend the seat. Doesn't really happen, so I do not a full range there. I'm doing like 3/4 of the range. And then where I really jack up the volume is on the seated row, and that's 25 reps. Like I've got like 180, maybe 190 pounds on there. It's a 2-to-1 ratio, so it's like 100 pounds on the sled. And that's just going for volume. That's just building up the pump. The great thing with the Prime Fitness USA handles there is the rotate handles, they don't move in your hands. So as soon as you've got a hold on, because they kind of hook right into your fingertips, your grip doesn't become an issue unless it's really, really weak. So there, I can just go until my arms give out, basically. Now, back into these.
So now getting into the first and third sets of the back portion. So the first set I did with a pronated grip on the bar. I find this a little bit stronger. The third set I went supinated. As you can see, I was a little more upright, so I got to clean that up in the future. And then the chest supported rows, these honestly didn't go well any of the weeks. One of the problems with having long ass arms like I do is you end up not having enough space at the proper angle. So I either have to raise the bench up and do seal type row, which I don't have the equipment to do at my facility, or I just got to find a way to have shorter arms. And then we get into the seated row. This was just purely just volume. It's just go back and forth. It stops being fun at around the 14th rep on the first set. And on the third set, every rep was a fight. As you can see, I'm having to swing right from the outset. I'm struggling just to complete any of the reps. I've had to pause a couple times just to try to get through it. And that was...
All right, so that's everything for today's workout. I'm exhausted. That was rough. That was a little tougher than I was expecting. My post-workout today is going to be 1 scoop of ATP Labs grass-fed whey, a half scoop of the Greens and Reds whole food mix, as well as 5 grams of creatine monohydrate from Clean Athlete. If you want to get 10% off your order from ATP Labs, go to the link in the description below, atplab.com, and use code RISLING10. That's RISLING 10 at checkout. If you like this type of content, as well as stuff like the sprint breakdown and the breakdown of what to look for in creatine, please take a moment now to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Oh, that whooped my ass today. It's a good workout. Coach Tony, Risling Podium Performance. Go get after it and embrace your potential. All right, Coach Tony, Risling Podium Performance, and today is the last leg day of 6-12-25. And I don't think I've ever really looked forward to the last week of a program as much as I am with this, to be quite honest. This training cycle has whooped my ass in more ways than I want to admit. But the great thing about it being the last week is that, one, I cut down the volume a little bit, so I only have to do 2 sets of everything instead of aiming to get 3. And 2, if you like this type of content that I've been putting out in terms of beating myself up in workouts, as well as stuff like the block breakdown from nationals, please take a moment now to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. So like I said, I'm cutting down the volume. It gives me a little bit of recovery while still going through and doing the workout. It also ensures that I'm able to rest and recover a little bit better before starting the next training cycle next week. So I've got the 2 sets of the front squat, back squat, a lunge walk combo, and then the leg curl, RDL, back extension combo. So I'm gonna hop into the warm-ups. So as usual with the warm-ups, I'm just doing the front squat portion because that still warms up the back squat. And this is the limiting lift. So start out, again, just running shoes.
Okay, on to today's workout. So it's Tuesday, September 2nd. So we got the 6-12-25 for the legs. So the front squats, these honestly felt good all the way through. I was feeling a little tightness through the glute when I was warming up, and then it just kind of went away, and then each rep just felt good. So one thing I focus on each time I'm at the top of each rep, I take that big breath in, brace the core, so that it can keep me a little more upright. The first set, I was more upright. So the second set, I leaned forward a little bit more, but I kind of messed up the count on the first set, and I just realized that the look on my face kind of gave it away. And then we get into the back squat. So because the second set actually took a lot longer as fatigue kicked in, you can see I'm only aiming to go down for a 2-second count. So you'll see I've already done a couple reps of the back squat for the second set, but I'm having to take longer pauses in between each rep. The first set, I'm able to start to catch up basically right away because I was a little more fresh. I had to kind of reposition the bar on my back on the second set. It slid a little as I was going, so I just tossed it back up to the top of the traps. You'll notice the first set, I could keep on going. Basically. Quick breath and go. The second set, I was dying. This is the one thing that's really tough about this protocol with 6-12-25. You're basically doing 18 reps with your front squat weight. Yeah, you're not going to be able to do that all on the front squat unless you're some sort of freak. So the back squat, the quads are already pre-fatigued. The VMO is a little cooked already. And then you go getting into doing a crap load of weights on the back squat. Plus, you've done 50 steps of lunge walks before you do that second set. So the quads are really, really not happy. And you'll notice here as I'm doing these lunge walks, they look fairly similar. They look pretty good. But you already see right there, I'm having to take little pauses and stop mid-step instead of just stepping all the way through. Right there, on the second set, I just went, fuck, because I was starting to get a little crampy. I was starting to really not be feeling so good. Lunge walk right to the camera. Funny look on my face of, dear God, let this just be over because I want to fucking die right now. But you just keep on going. So ladies, if you want to grow your glutes, this is an incredible protocol for growing glutes, because the number one thing that I'm feeling at this point that's just on absolute fire is my glutes. And as I get into the posterior chain part, my glutes are definitely going to be screaming for help. And it's going to help really develop the glutes. So first set, I was already done. Second set, as you can see, I'm not done while I'm already walking to turn off the camera on the first set. Then we get into the back side. So we got the 6 prone leg curls. So I only recorded one of the sets here. I accidentally didn't hit record on the second set. But what I'm really focusing on here is I'm keeping my foot dorsiflexed, so pulling the toes up and trying to keep everything at the exact same time. My left leg is a little more delayed. That's from multiple hamstring injuries over the years from sports 15 years ago. And then the RDLs, so I decided just to see what it looks like from the back. You know, give it the IG influencer look of, hey, take a look at my ass. But this, I'm just hinging from the hips. This is primarily just the glutes really doing most of the movement, while the hamstrings are holding on for dear life. So after 12 reps, just dropped it and then get into the horizontal back extensions. This is just up and down, just go, go, go. I'm already sucking air, for the lack of a better term. Breathing is no longer going well. I'm just exhausted, which is why I'm so glad that this was the last week of this cycle, especially for legs. The rest of the body, it's not as brutal, but god damn is it ever brutal for legs. And as we finish it up, glad.
All right, so that's everything for today's workout and the last leg workout of 6-12-25. While I had hoped that this would feel a lot better than it did, it still was quite brutal. That's why I'm so glad to be done this. The other body parts aren't as difficult. It's just legs, it's just hard. Like, you're doing 18 reps with the front squat weight. So that's what really drains you right from the get-go. The hamstring part, like the posterior chain part, that's just dig down and go. You just do the reps. It's not as difficult as, okay, you're doing, what is that? You got 18 and then you got another 50. So it's like 68 reps on your quads being worked in a single set. So it adds up pretty quick, even with just 2 sets. Like the hardest part wasn't actually the muscles themselves. It was when I was doing the squats, my abdominals were starting to just fade. And then doing the lunge walks, I just, like, yeah, there's lots of air in here, but it's almost like I couldn't get enough air into me in order to keep going and recover. That's why you can see I had to take a couple pauses as I was doing the steps. I just couldn't breathe anymore. But yeah, my post-workout is going to be the usual. 1 scoop of ATP Labs grass-fed whey, a half scoop of their greens and reds whole food mix, as well as 5 grams of creatine monohydrate from Clean Athlete. If you want to get 10% off an order from ATP Labs, which is a high-quality Canadian company, go to atplabs.com and use the code RISLING10, that's RISLING 10 at checkout to get 10% off. This is good both in Canada and the US. If you like this type of content, as well as other stuff that I put out, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment below. Anyways, that's everything for today. Coach Tony, Risling Podium Performance. Go build some legs and embrace your potential.